The Dark Knight takes on the king of the monsters in this massive matchup. Batman vs. Godzilla. Who would win? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Here today we're looking at two titans going toe-to-toe in a battle for the ages. On one corner, standing just under 6'2" and weighing in at around 200 pounds, the caped crusader himself, Batman, and in the other corner, coming in at over 390 feet tall and weighing about 66,000 tons, the king of the monsters, Godzilla. Yeah, this one isn't really a fair fight, but that never stops us from having fun. So let's get into it. First up, let's look at Batman. Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, a technological genius, an expert in all forms of combat, science, forensics, engineering, architecture, music, art, acting, detective work, and a myriad of other fields. He's an unparalleled martial artist and has fought and held his own against Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Hulk. Batman is also well known for his vast array of gadgets and gear. His utility belt alone contains a plethora of useful tools and weapons that have allowed him to defeat enemies both large and small. And while he doesn't typically use firearms, if the situation calls for it, he won't hesitate to pull out his trusty pistols or even his assault rifle. But when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, Batman is a force to be reckoned with. He has trained for years to master his fighting skills and has taken on some of the most powerful beings in the DC universe and come out on top. In fact, he once took on an entire army of paramons single-handedly and came out victorious. He may not have superpowers, but Batman is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now let's take a look at Godzilla. Godzilla is a radioactive monster that was created as a result of nuclear testing in Japan. He is incredibly powerful, able to destroy entire cities with ease. He is also very durable, able to withstand attacks that would normally kill a human in an instant. Godzilla is also highly intelligent, able to communicate with humans telepathically and even form alliances with them. Despite his immense power and intelligence, Godzilla is often seen as a force of nature, something that cannot be reasoned with or controlled. He is driven by instinct and will attack anything that he perceives as a threat to himself or his loved ones. This makes him a dangerous opponent, as he is unpredictable and will not hesitate to unleash his full power on his enemies. So with all that being said, let's see how this matchup would go. Now there are a few ways this fight could go. First off, if we're talking strictly about hand-to-hand combat, then Batman is definitely outmatched here. As much as I love the Dark Knight, there's no way he could take on Godzilla in a hand-to-hand fight. Even if Batman used all of his martial arts skills and fighting techniques, he would be no match for Godzilla's sheer strength and power. The only chance Batman would have in this scenario is to try and use his environment to his advantage, perhaps by luring Godzilla into a trap or by using the buildings and terrain to try and avoid Godzilla's attacks. However, even in this scenario, it seems unlikely that Batman would be able to defeat Godzilla. With his atomic breath alone, Godzilla could probably wipe out the entire city block and Batman along with it. However, this is where things get interesting because Batman is not just a hand-to-hand fighter. He is also a technological genius and has access to some of the most advanced technology in the world. He could use his knowledge of Godzilla's weaknesses to develop a plan to take him down. For example, in the IDW comics, Godzilla's skin is actually his weak point, which could allow Batman to devise a strategy to penetrate his tough hide and bring him down. Additionally, Batman could use his detective skills to track down Godzilla's allies and loved ones and threaten them to try and lure Godzilla out of hiding or perhaps even trick him into a trap. Of course, this would be a difficult task, as Godzilla is incredibly intelligent and would likely be able to anticipate Batman's moves, but it's not impossible. After all, Batman has managed to outsmart some of the most brilliant minds in the DC universe. Another option for Batman is to simply flee and try to wait out the fight. While this may seem like a cowardly move, it could actually be the smartest thing to do. After all, there's no shame in admitting defeat, if it means saving your life. Plus, Batman is a patient fighter and is not afraid to bide his time before making his move. If he can stay hidden from Godzilla and keep out of his line of sight, he may be able to survive the fight and even come out on top if Godzilla eventually runs out of energy. But what if we change things up a bit and add a few new variables to the fight? What if the fight takes place in Gotham City? This would play right into Batman's home field advantage and allow him to use the city to his advantage. He could use his knowledge of the city's layout to evade Godzilla, and could use the buildings and vehicles to try and distract him. Additionally, Batman has a number of allies in Gotham City who could help him in the fight. For example, he could call in the Justice League or even the GCPD for backup. On the other hand, Godzilla is a force of nature and may not be so easily contained. He could use his atomic breath to destroy entire city blocks, making it hard for Batman and his allies to get close enough to him to do any real damage. Plus, Godzilla is a very intelligent creature and may be able to use the city against Batman as well. He could use the buildings and vehicles to try and trap Batman, or even use the citizens of Gotham City as human shields. It would definitely be an exciting fight to watch, but ultimately I think that Godzilla would come out on top. He is just too powerful and destructive to be contained. Batman would do his best to try and stop him, but eventually he would have to retreat and regroup. But what if we give Batman a little bit of help? What if he had Superman on his side? This could potentially shift the balance of power and make things a lot more interesting. Superman is one of the most powerful superheroes in the DC universe. He has super strength, speed, durability, flight, and heat vision, among other powers. Adding him to the mix could give Batman the edge he needs to defeat Godzilla. Together, there would be a formidable team. Batman's intelligence and strategic mind combined with Superman's raw power would be a winning combination. Batman could come up with a plan to take down Godzilla, while Superman provides the muscle to carry it out. Perhaps Superman could distract Godzilla long enough for Batman to get close enough to deliver a critical blow. Or maybe Batman could use his knowledge of Godzilla's weaknesses to come up with a strategy that allows Superman to hit Godzilla where it hurts. Whatever the case may be, having Superman by his side would definitely increase Batman's chances of winning the fight. After all, Superman has taken on powerful villains before and has come out on top. He has faced off against Doomsday, an incredibly powerful villain who was able to defeat and kill Superman, but Superman was ultimately able to come back and defeat him. He has also fought against Darkseid, a godlike villain who is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. Superman has bested Darkseid on multiple occasions, proving that he is more than capable of taking on and defeating incredibly powerful opponents. That being said, I still think Godzilla would put up a good fight. He is a tenacious creature and will not give up. He will continue to fight until he is either victorious or until he is too weak to continue. So, while Superman's powers are incredibly strong, I don't think he would be able to defeat Godzilla without putting in a good fight. Ultimately, this fight would be an epic battle between two incredibly powerful beings. Batman would put up a good fight, but I think Godzilla would come out on top. He is just too powerful and destructive to be contained. But if Batman had Superman on his side, I think they would be able to defeat Godzilla. Superman's powers are just too much for Godzilla to handle. What do you guys think? Who do you think would win this fight? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Until next time, my friends, goodbye.